it and
It'd be easier to
we're
find
good.
it too.
All right, we're good? Are we live? Okay. All right, please rise. We're gonna call this meeting to order at 7 o'clock. I pledge allegiance. All right, thank you so much for that. Can we have a roll call, please?
Bill Lopez.
Here.
Laura Madigan.
Here.
James Burge.
Here.
Don Kraft. Here. Kelly Kierman.
Yeah. Okay, we have a quorum. Thank you all for being here. The next item on the agenda is council reorganization. We will start that with a nomination for president.
I'd like to make a motion
Ma'am,
for Bill Lopez.
thank you. Is there a second for Bill Lopez?
I'll second.
Thank you, Don. Do we have any other nominations? Okay, all in favor of appointing Bill Lopez as our council president this year, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, that passes unanimously. Thank you so much. Then we've got vice president. Do we have a nomination?
I'll nominate Kelly Kierman.
Thank you, Bill.
I will second that nomination for Carrie
Thank
Kelly.
you.
Carrier.
Thank you, Don. Do we have any other nominations? Okay, hearing none, we will move on to a vote for Kelly Kierman for vice president. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, that was beautiful and easy. Thank you so much. Here you go, sir. Thank you very much for
Thank
taking this
you.
on.
Appreciate it. Okay, we'll move on to approval of the minutes of the December 23rd meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the 23rd meeting.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
A motion, and a second. Are there any questions regarding the minutes as presented? Hearing none, all in favor of approval, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll abstain, please, since I was absent.
Okay,
Thank
thank you. Consideration of claims and sewer adjustments. I look for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Have a motion, do I have a
I'll
second?
second.
A motion and a second. Any questions regarding the claims and sewer adjustments? Hearing none, all in favor of approval, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll move on to petitions and comments from the floor. If there's anybody here who'd like to bring something forth to the council, please step up, state your name and address for the record, and tell us what's on your mind. Going once, going twice. Okay, we'll close that portion of the meeting and move on to reports. Clerk Treasurer.
I have nothing besides what's on the agenda later.
Okay, thank you, Corinne. Attorney,
No report.
no report. Police Department.
The only thing is, I'd like to sing our praises for John Timar, our mechanic. We've had a couple vehicles go down recently, and he is just on top of it. So please let him know how much we appreciate him. Jamie, I'd appreciate that. So that's all I have.
Good. But it seems like he's working out to be quite an asset for the town, and
Most certainly.
Invaluable is the word that I would use.
it probably get it done in a more timely manner too than having to take it somewhere.
Too fast, yeah.
So-
I'm wondering what he's doing back already with it, so.
That's good, thank you. Fire Department, Jay's not here. Did he have anything done?
He didn't leave me any notes.
Okay. Public Works Department.
At the previous meeting, I'd asked for some vehicles to be declared surplus in putting together the bid or the stuff notification for the paper. I messed up on the dates. The vehicles had to be paid before, the day before the council meeting, so the council wouldn't be able to approve them. With that being said, I'd ask that since that date is where they have to be paid for, is the day before the council, that when we open the bids on January 21st, that the council just give me approval to accept the highest bid and then reject any bids not meeting the minimum standards.
I'll make a motion to give our Public Works Superintendent the authority to award the bid after opening on the 21st, the authority to award the bid to the most responsible, highest bidder. Are those all the words I needed to include? Attorney?
Ultimately, it just needs authority to grant them or award them if they're in line with the advertisement, or authority to reject all.
Or authority to reject all. Please amend my motion to include authority to reject.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion and second. So that was, my next one was all right with the attorney, but that sounds good to you. And
Yeah, we've had some discussion, and the important thing, which he's already aware, that at your next meeting, then, you'll have all the information of who the bids were, who was the highest, what the amounts were, and who were successful.
All right, perfect. All right, all in favor of approval of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? You're good, Jamie.
Thank you, that's all I got, except for, appreciate it if people, when they know it's gonna snow, try and keep the cars out of the street. We might have some of that
Are
coming
you
up.
looking at me?
You're not naming anybody, but,
I'm just kidding.
how's it been? Have they had a lot of issues or?
Some, but, I still consider it better than normal, but probably shouldn't say that. But, we've had a few tight spots where we actually had to bother the police with getting people to move.
Yeah. Okay. All right, thank you. Park Department.
I only have two things. One is just a project update. You probably noticed if you've been around town, we've got a lot more new signs. So phase 2/3 of the sign and rebranding project is complete. We've got all of our signs in. There's one sign left that needs to be installed at the NICD station, and that would complete phase 1. And we're looking forward to some warmer weather so we can do some landscaping, some hardscaping around them and make them look even better, add to the town's investment. So thank you for your support on that. And then also, start off the year with good news. We were applied for and were re-awarded our $5,000 reimbursable grant for the second year in a row through Indiana Dunes Tourism for the installation of the canoe kayak launch at Waverly Road. So I got that notice just about a week or two ago. So happy to report that. That's it.
Good, thank you.
Allowed to ask a question?
I'm sorry,
Are
Becky?
we allowed to ask a question?
Sure, we'll allow it.
The sign on Dune Meadows, you place one and then you take the other one out,
Mm-hmm.
so you're not gonna move that to where the old one was?
No,
Okay.
no. That'll all be removed, and we actually removed that old sign today.
Oh, you're gonna take the plants out too?
Mhm.
Okay. It's just, it's inhibiting our football practicing there. That was making me feel.
All right. That was it, Brian?
That was it.
All right, thank you. Building Commissioner, Director of Development.
Item 1 is contractors. We've got 117 contractors this week have paid all their fees, met all requirements for contracting.
For a motion to approve the 117 contractors.
So moved.
A motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
A motion, a second. Any questions for Mike regarding the 117 contractors? Hearing none, all in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you. Got a couple updates from NDOT at 12 and Waverly and 12 in Mineral Springs. NDOT has both of those, they're designing flasher systems for both of those intersections. It says it's similar to State Road 8 at Bombs Bridge Roads at Couts. I haven't been down to Couts lately to check that out. But they sent us a drawing. It's flashers and warning signage for when there's traffic in the intersection. So trying to get the timeline on this when they're gonna install it, but at least they're working on that. I've got a meeting tomorrow with Butler Fairman to discuss the roundabout proposal at the same intersection at Waverly and 12 and see if we're gonna pursue continuing a grant for that. So we're gonna have a discussion tomorrow. And then Bill had the idea of right in, right out at Oak Hill Road, and they said, yes, they think right in, right out with delineators would be acceptable. So, they, at 20 in Oak Hill. So they also said, we could install them, or if it was gonna be an issue to install them, to let them know if we would want them to do the installation. So I'm assuming we would like them to try and do that first before we pay for it.
I think that'd be,
I think I'll pursue that option first and see what we can do with it. Obviously, that's gonna happen more likely, May-ish, when it's not snowy anymore. So at least we've got some headway from NDOT on both of those, and appreciate the input from everybody on them. And, that's all I got for right now. Thank you.
all right. Any questions for Mike from anybody, or?
Thank you, I'm glad to hear about the updates.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Mike. Move on to, we have no old business. Move on to new business. First order of new business is department head appointments. I'd look for a motion to do we do them all together, or do we do them independently? Can't remember.
I'm pretty sure you just assign them out. Oh.
No, department.
Sorry.
Yeah, no. So we're gonna retain all our department heads. Michael Berry is Director of Development, Building Commissioner. Brian will remain our Park Department head. Jamie will remain the Public Works. Dan will remain our Chief Dan, and Jay will remain Chief Jay Craig. Look for a motion to approve the 5 department heads.
So moved.
I'll second.
Any questions regarding? Very
I
good.
would only like to thank all of you for all of the hard work you've done and will continue to do. You're so appreciated. That's all.
All in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We'll move on to council liaison appointments. Gonna have Don Kraft, you'll be the liaison this year for the Park Department. Laura Madigan will be the liaison for the Public Works Department. Jim Burge will be the liaison for the Fire Department. And I'm gonna have Kelly Kierman remain the liaison with the Police Department, only because she's been working real close with Dan, and we just kinda wanna continue the path we're on for now, and she's real familiar with all the ins and outs of it, so keep you on the straight and narrow for a while.
Thank you.
No, all good, all good. The next thing we'll move on to is the boards and commission appointments. We'll start with the Board of Zoning Appeals. We have one vacancy, not vacancy, one open seat right now. That was Henry Heiser's, and he has reapplied for it. We look for a motion for someone to nominate who they would like to fill that spot.
I'd nominate Henry Hauser to be reappointed to the BZA.
Okay. Is there any other nominations for the BZA? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of Henry Hauser being reappointed to the BZA, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Opposed? And next, we'll move down to the Advisory Plan Commission. The one seat that was up was Jim Erickson's seat, and that was a presidential appointment. And I will reappoint Jim Erickson to fill that seat for another term. We'll move down to the Metropolitan Police Commission. There was one seat that was up, is Mark Harris's. He was put on last year, so he only served 1 year. And that's a council appointment, so I look for a nomination from the council to
I'll nominate Mark Harris.
okay, we have a nomination from Mark Harris. Anybody else? Hearing none then, all in favor of Mark Harris returning to the Police Commission, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The Stormwater Board's a 3-member board. Eric Helmuth's term is up. these are presidential appointments, and I will reappoint Eric to the Stormwater Board. He's been quite an asset for us with his experience. I think he's helped out a lot. Move on to the Redevelopment Commission. So there's 3 presidential appointments. And I will reappoint all 3 of them: Allison Hutman, Russ Irwin, and Jamie Hogan. There's 1 council appointment, and that's the seat that I currently hold. And I'm gonna step down from it, and that has to be reappointed. So I look for the council to reappoint someone for that seat.
I'll reappoint, or I'd like to appoint Laura Madigan if she'd like to.
Okay, I'll accept that, thanks.
Is there anyone else we'd like to appoint? Hearing none, then all in favor of Laura serving on the redevelopment commission, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Can I interrupt you,
Sure,
please? I
certainly.
believe there were 2 council appointments and 3 presidential appointments for a total of 5, and I think we just did 4. And I believe there's still 1,
You're out.
Did I miss?
one more council appointment. And if I may, I don't wanna rush you, but I would like to jump the gun and
Oh.
nominate Peter Sawashka Dalton.
You're right, I got them
Thank you.
highlighted here, and I did, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. That one was a council appointment anyway.
Okay. So, we'll have a vote for that then, I'm sorry. All in favor of Peter, and I can't say this,
Sawashka Dalton.
Sawashka Dalton, being reappointed to the RDC, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Yeah, I did miss him.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura, for catching that too. The Environmental Sustainability Commission, we actually, those were all their terms were up this year. We had a few people apply, we had many more apply before. So the seats that aren't filled, we will keep them open. We decided that the 2 high school students will just continue to serve throughout this year.
So our ordinance specifically says that their term is also up at the end of this year, but we have been talking about amending that ordinance. We've just had higher priority items to focus on. So if the council's okay with this, I would like to make a motion to continue their term through the end of this school year. And by that point, we'll have the ordinance revised to have their terms align with the school year instead of the calendar year. So I would make a motion to extend both of their terms through the end of the school year.
Is that acceptable?
Yes.
Do I have a second?
I will second.
Okay. Any questions regarding the motion? Okay. All in favor of approving the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, and then we need to make sure we move forward with that,
Yep.
but yeah, I know we talked about it.
Bill, I'm sorry, who was the second on that?
Kelly?
Kelly.
Thank you.
So with that being said, we'll move on now. Peter Sawashka Dalton will be reappointed. Jennifer Dimitrov and Dave Keaton applied to be on there. We'll also put Dave on there. The other members chose not to reapply for it this year, so we'll just keep the seats open and look for some other people that are interested in serving on the Environmental Sustainability Commission. We don't need to do anything with the economic development, or do we at some point? Okay.
We need to put somebody to NERC, I think is the only one that's left.
Right. Jim Burge currently serves on the, as our representative for NERC, and I would like to reappoint Jim to continue serving on NERC. That's a council appointment though, so I need the council to,
Oh, I'll nominate Jim Birch to represent the town at the NERC meetings. Thank you.
I'll second.
I have a second?
I'll second.
Kelly seconded it. All in favor of approval of Jim Burge representing us on the NERC, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. And Michael Berry, you were already reappointed to serve as the RDA TDD Steering Committee. All right, that concludes our boards and commissions appointments. Move on to beach permits, Seth. Red.
Of the year, yes. So, I sent you all a, list of prices, so, every year you have to set that or approve the prices. All the amounts that I listed and what I gave you is the same as 2025, so last year, all the prices increased by $5, so, I mean, obviously it's up to you guys if you wanna increase those prices or not. We sold 800. I'd like to do the same this year. I did have a conversation with Chief Dickey about the amount of permits. I think we came to a consensus that we should do the same. Also, we'd like to make the permits inside windshield stickers, so people can put them on the inside of their front windshield or the inside of their back windshield. Dan, I can let you chime in if you'd like, but.
That's something that myself and the other officers have noticed over time is the way that, the rules are is that it's supposed to be on the rear window, and as you know, not all vehicles have a rear window. The Broncos, the Jeeps, when the top's off, so a lot of them are putting them on the windshield anyway. There's a couple motorcycles down there. And then I've heard complaints from beachgoers about, they bought a nice brand new car and now they're putting a sticker on the outside of it. Not everybody likes a sticker being on the outside. In talking with Corinne, having it being on the inside, I think the rule should be that it's either visible from the windshield or the rear window. I think in the beginning it was the rear window so that it was easier on the officer. They could just either drive or walk down. It doesn't matter. We end up getting out of our car and walking, zigzagging through the whole lot anyway, because some cars back in. So I would say the front or the back, it doesn't matter. And then even, the issue about like rear window tint, we can still see it when there's a static cling sticker on the inside. So I don't know if it's static.
Yeah,
cling, but
I would say it
inside,
would be adhesive, that's not removable because they're not transferable and you can't move them from car to car. I would make them a little bit smaller than the 3x3 size that we've had for years, just because I don't wanna, obstruct somebody's view if they're putting a sticker in their windshield.
I was going to say, and there is an Indiana code that we could provide on like maybe a social media post or on our web, or both on our website as well, where not to put that. If you're going to put it in the windshield, where not to put it, right? It's going to have to be down below, down by the dashboard where you see a lot of other, frankly, parking permits and stuff, so.
So, I mean, basically, besides the permit location and the sticker type being a little bit different, everything would be the same as last year. So tentative sale date would be mid-March. I'm still trying to tack that down, what would be best with everybody's schedules. And then the first 2 weeks would be open to Porter residents. After the first 2 weeks, it would open to both in-state and out-of-state.
I have one comment on the beach pass. Part of it says volunteer firefighters or retired Porter police officers. I think it should be for retired employees who are in good standing and worked for the town for 20 years, maybe, instead of just retired officers. If anybody would.
I agree. We had this conversation a few months ago.
Yeah.
I feel like anybody that's worked for the town of Porter, put
For
their
20
blood,
years.
sweat, and tears into this town for 20 years, and then they're
Yeah.
retired. You want to get a beach pass like you? Yeah, yes, please, and thank you. Right? There's
Yeah.
not a huge list of those people.
No.
I think it's a small thank you can offer them,
Yeah.
so that they can bring their grandkids. Yeah.
Okay.
Tell us the prices?
Yep, so, and the employee price would be $25, volunteer firefighters or, retired, employees with 20 years of service, $25. Porter residents, $50. Porter residents that are senior citizens, so age 60 and over, would be $25. Indiana residents is 80, out of state is 120, and then it would be $10 if you want your permit returned by certified mail. Otherwise, you'd have to come in and pick it up once we call and say your permit is ready and your application's been approved.
I'm comfortable with these fees and don't feel a need to raise them personally, if we wanna start off with the consensus conversation.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm good with the fees. Do we need to have a motion to approve the sale to retired employees? We're gonna just make it not police or fire, specifically everybody.
Yeah, I think you should have it, just make it formal.
Okay.
Right, so I look for a motion, so we want the motion to be that anybody with, and is that we want to have 20 years of service?
Yeah,
Yeah, anyone that retired from the town with 20 years or more.
I'll make that motion.
Okay,
I'll second that.
is entitled to buy a beach pass at the employee rate, or?
Yeah.
All right, we have a motion, and we have a second. Any other questions regarding the motion?
Was that Laura?
Yes.
I seconded, thank you.
Hearing no questions, all in favor of the passed motion, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay.
Are you allowed to ask a question? I'm just curious, the amount of people that buy from here as opposed to out of state.
I don't have those numbers in front of me at the moment, but I can get them to you.
I'm
Yeah,
just curious about that.
sure. There, I think last year there was only one out of state.
Yeah, I
The
remember
rest were-
asking that question last year.
The
and it was-
majority were Porter residents, some Chesterton,
Because
a
I
few
see lot
Valpo,
of
but
other
yeah.
kids going down there, and I don't know how they park down there if they don't get the pass.
Well, they could park either in the National Lakeshore lot, or the police are pretty, what do you want to say? They stay on top of it, looking for cars, especially when they see them with out-of-state plates, they know to look to see if they have a pass or not, so.
And there's 2 national Lake Shore lots down
Right,
there.
there's the two National Lakeshore
Yeah, I
lots,
know
but,
that kind of goes back and forth, and then where are you, and is it free or not free, so.
well, we put more signage up so that you're aware of the,
I know
Of our
that,
lot.
but we just need to respect being here.
Need to officially approve those rates for the year too.
okay, and then I'd look for a motion to approve the beach parking permit rates as presented by Corinne.
So moved.
Make that motion.
Have a motion?
I'll second Don's motion.
Don made a motion, or a second, okay. Any questions for Corinne regarding that, or anybody on the permit fees? Hearing none, all in favor of passing the motion, please signify by saying aye.
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 All right. We'll move on to ordinance number 2026-01, amending portions of Chapter 14 Building and Building Regulations and Chapter 58 Streets and Sidewalks and Other Public Places.
Let me go through this.
I was gonna ask Mike just to give us a quick synopsis of it.
Before I do that, Becky, the other thing is there's a lot of people that live down there that actually live in Illinois that have houses at Porter Beach, so you might be seeing those people too. Okay, so there's a lot of revisions in here, but I'll just buzz through them. 1446, we changed the words to improvement value instead of the cost of which exceeds $500. That's in response to people who say, I got a free pool, or I got a whole bunch of materials for free, and they want to do something and not have a permit, so that covers that option. We at the request of Mr. Lopez, we're gonna separate fences and accessory structures like sheds, regardless of improvement value, because typically fences and sheds are being installed that may fall below that amount, and they're causing issues because they're improperly installed in places they're not supposed to be. That's typical in other municipalities where there's a separate permit for that. So I'm actually gonna create a separate form for fences and sheds. regardless of the cost. If you're putting up a fence, you should have some sort of survey, and same with the shed, put in the right location. So there's a reference to that in there. 1478, our code has two different sections that are similar, so the wording in that is similar to 1446. Our current occupancy permit is $30. That got raised to $40. Our temporary occupancy permits weren't even mentioned before, so I put those in at a $20 fee, because on the occasion we need a temporary occupancy permit. I still have to go out and do an inspection and you know, put my time into it and issue something, so that way we at least cover that with a $20 fee. The building permit fees, based on cost, haven't been updated in, from what I could tell, 30-odd years. And they're based on cost of construction. And there's kind of a convoluted formula in here. I made it much simpler than it was before. But the first part of it's $500 to $3,000 was $30. We raised it to $40. And then the rest of them basically went up about 15 to 20% in total when you do the calculations, all the way up to, you know, $1 million and higher. So those are revised in the same format they were before. Other fees we had $47 an hour or $50 an hour for some of those. We raised that to $60 to reflect basically how much time we have to put in to do these inspections. So there's a list of those items for $60 an hour. We put in here where someone's working on a project with no permit, they will be issued a stop work order, and then the permit fee is gonna be increased by 100% before the permit could be paid. That is, again, in response to, one, it's a deterrent to people to not do things without a permit, and two, it helps pay for the time we're spent running back and forth trying to get someone to pull a permit, and we have to issue the stop work order, so that's what that's for. Plumbing permits, before we had this kind of goofy little formula. I changed that to basically follow the same thing as regular permit fees, which makes more sense. Electrical permits were all bumped up slightly to reflect the time that it takes to do the inspections and all the paperwork that we have to do. The rewiring permit was revised to match the actual regular electrical permit, because for some reason they didn't quite match before. So those have all been revised to better reflect how much time we have to put in to do the inspections. If it's a service of over 400 amps, that's considered an inspection that I have to call in our current inspector, which is Dave Ellis. He charges $75 an hour, so that reflects basically paying for his expenses to come out and look at something. Additional inspection fees used to say $47 an hour. That's been revised to $60 an hour, again, to reflect, you know, how much my time it takes to go do the inspections. The old list of required inspections has been revised to include the actual inspections we need to do, which is footing pre-pour, foundation pre-pour, backfill, pre-backfill inspection, underground plumbing, electrical service, rough inspection, final, and occupancy inspection. So those are the required inspections, and I revised the language to say required typical building inspections. Electrical, mechanical, and plumbing has 2 inspections, rough and final. And then the verbiage was changed to permit holder contractors to contact the town. There's another list of types of inspections, and that says to contact. I revised those so they all say building commissioner or the appropriate inspector. And we have sanitary sewer connection, they're supposed to contact Public Works, because those weren't correct before. The next section is just permit fees in a list. And that's revised to show how, basically all the ones I just mentioned, how they're determined and what the fees are. Our current code has a section for, and we'll get to this further down, soil, sand, and earth removal. And then there's an excavation section, and they're different. There's 2 different code sections. We only have one permit form right now, which is the excavation permit. So I'm gonna create one for soil, sand, and earth removal, which is just what it sounds like if you're moving dirt around on a site. Excavation permit, we changed from $50 for the first hole and $10 for additional to $60 and $20 to again reflect the cost that it takes to put these in. Stormwater permits and inspections, this was part of the stormwater ordinance that was done at the end of 2024. So that's just reflecting what we already had in here for permit fees. Then there's a list of permits issued. That's been corrected and updated to include all the permits that we actually issue. Then I amended the 2 sections regarding driveway entrance culvert permit. Again, we don't actually have that form. We've been using the excavation permit, so I'm gonna revise that, but we changed that from $50 to $60. The grading permit, I'll call it, that's $60. It used to be $50. We updated the excavation section, so these are section 58 versus section 14. And all of that's been rolled into one beautiful ordinance. So if you have any questions, please let me know.
You know, Mike, one came up while you were
Yep.
going through that, was with the sewer tap inspection. So I know we had some issue with like Public Works getting there, and do we have something in there where they have to notify them in a timely manner, or is it?
It says they're supposed to notify Public Works. Sometimes what happens, everybody just calls me, and I'm trying to get all these contractors to stop doing that. It actually says on all the forms to call Public Works. So that's just, I'm trying to re-educate everybody that comes in here to stop trying to call me or not calling anybody instead of calling the Public Works, because Public Works needs to come out and inspect it, and there's a form, and that's part of the sewer permit. It says right on there to call Public Works, so I think it's a little education.
How much notice are they supposed to give the town when they feel like they're ready for an inspection?
I always tell them to give us at least 48 hours.
Right,
You know, so we have an opportunity to get out there. Most of the time, they're pretty good, but, you know.
We're lucky to get 48 minutes.
Yeah,
sometimes.
we've got one builder, and
That's why I
Bill
asked.
knows who it is, that doesn't seem to follow directions real well, so we had a couple meetings about that so that we can try and take care of that. But it's a process in educating them.
Right, I think so that's the big thing, is when they pull a permit, they need to be
Yeah, I'm gonna write it on there and like highlight it and put big letters on
like
there.
in big red ink or
Yeah,
something? or-
red and orange, because otherwise they're just not paying attention. We've got one house permit on my desk right now for, across from Zip Foods where the vacant lot is at 18 Franklin. And I'm not concerned about that builder not following directions, so. But it's something we're just writing right on the permits. I'm putting on there with highlighter and red ink.
Okay.
Good question.
Any other questions, Mike?
Yeah, I got a question.
Sure.
On page 2,
Page 2.
with the amounts on the top of it, okay, like for example, when you say, well, like it's at the bottom, $1 million enough, it says, 0.0036 for each additional amount, does that mean less than 1 cent for each additional amount?
Yeah, it's a calculation. So
It's a
like if you punch in, let's say it's $52,000, you take 77750, and then anything beyond 50 gets multiplied by that. I actually created a calculator for that so that
Okay.
I don't have to manually do it.
So that's why a lot of those numbers are less than 1 cent?
Yeah, they're specifically that way.
Okay.
So when it's a bigger number times that, and it gives you.
Okay, no, I just was wondering
Yeah.
if that was a.
So
Thank you.
each number at the beginning of each section is 25,000 times would give you 465. So that's how that works.
Okay.
It follows the same format we had before. So all of our permit fees include plan examination. We don't have an extra plan examination fee. Includes all of the inspections. We don't have extra inspection fees. It's meant to be simpler so that we're not constantly trying to collect another fee from somebody. We collect it all at one time, and it covers all the inspections and review versus the neighboring town who does it in pieces.
Okay, thank you.
That's why it's like that. Thank you. Good question.
Okay, any other questions? So we'll mark this for a second reading at our next meeting. There's no reason to press anything to act on it tonight. Okay, so we need
I'll just motion to set it for second hearing on January 27th.
I'll second.
all right, we have a motion and a second for a second reading on it. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor of approval, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Right.
Opposed? All right, Corinne, mark that for our second reading, please. That concludes our new business. We'll move on to council comments.
I have 2. One, I wanted to thank Brian and Michael Berry for all the hard work that they did on the signs. And then two things that I wanted to check on and see if we were ready to talk about, maybe at our next meeting, is the 457B that Corinne had sent out to us information a while back. She did a survey. And see if we're ready to discuss that. And the second is when we'll be ready to talk about adopting the new handbook.
Kelly's starting the year off with the business. Good for you.
I just want the handbook adopted.
I don't blame
Yeah,
you,
no.
me too.
I am ready to rock and roll.
I love it.
Okay. We'll get that into the agenda. I hope everybody's had a chance to read the handbook. It's some good reading there.
It is. I was actually doing it before meeting.
I'm halfway through it.
Do we think that maybe if we agree on a date to set our executive meeting to discuss the handbook ahead of time, that gives us a goal to meet rather than,
I would love that.
okay. On February 10, Tuesday, February 10, is our first February council meeting that does not have any other town meetings immediately preceding it. So theoretically, we should all be available if we're not traveling. And that gives us a month from now to finish up reading through it and being ready to go over it.
And hold an executive meeting before.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, what do
I
you,
agree.
like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock? I don't think it should take more than an hour for the first meeting.
No, that sounds good.
I think it's a good idea.
Are you good with that, Corinne? So we'll schedule an executive session, February 10th, for the purpose of reviewing the handbook.
Okay.
The employee handbook.
At 6 PM. Got it.
We don't need a motion for it. We can do by consensus. Okay, thank you, Kelly, for bringing that up. Any other council comments?
Is the 457B fund something that we can also discuss during executive session?
I don't believe so.
I don't think it is, right?
Any
Okay.
exception, yeah.
Okay. That was my only question. Thank you.
Do you want to send that out? Does everybody still have that email?
I can send
Do you
it
want to
again if
resend it
you'd
again,
like.
just to,
Send it again.
yeah, if it's not a problem, then that way it's fresh in everyone's mail and then everybody can look through it again.
I can do that.
That being said, I'd look for a motion to adjourn then.
So moved.
Second.
Meeting adjourned, thank you.
Thank you.
Those lights are pretty interesting.
How are you, Becky?
Flashes when